Ladies and gentlemen, by God, I hope you're well. And if you missed us, it's the return of AEW Mash this week, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I am still Paul, and I'm still here, kind of fronting this wee podcast, as it were. But first, you know what? Before I even deal with the punting and all that, obviously, we had a wee week off there. I'm going to be honest, lads and lassies, and anybody who fancies listening, as far as AEW and as far as pro wrestling goes, I've been kind of struggling with my love for pro wrestling. In the beginning, when AEW started and the excitement of AEW started, there was a lot of positivity on the potentially having a wrestling product that was going to be fun to watch by people who genuinely cared about what they wanted to put out there. And the fact that as far as wrestling media went, they were talking about what was going to happen in ring, and it was all about the product you were getting to watch. There wasn't a constant reporting on backstage nonsense, on political crap, on this person doesn't like that person, so they're getting punished on TV for it and all that. And it was a great change as a wrestling fan to actually see something positive like that. And I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, then there's no secret that there is a lot of this nonsense that crept into AEW recently, with the likes of Sammy Guevara, Eddie Kingston, CM Punk, the Elite, Miro, Malachi Black, like all sorts of stuff going all roads, all sorts of rumours and all that. And to be honest, it's really kind of blunted my kind of enjoyment of the product. Funnily enough, I actually didn't even watch this episode of AEW last week until the weekend, which is, I mean, the lads will confirm for you here, that is very un-Paul like for me to wait 3 days before I even bother my backside watching the wrestling. So are we going to do this every week? I would like to, I would like to kind of enjoy my pro wrestling again, I've got to say, but I don't know. Watch this space, obviously. This week we had a hell of a good show to kind of chew into, so we're going to do that just in the old-fashioned kind of style. Just a wee quick punt of the podcast. As you know, AEW Mash is one of the many podcast parts which, when formed together, make the mega powers that is this Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. You can always find us on all social media and on all audio streaming platforms. As always, if you want to support the guys, we have a wee profile on buymeacoffee.com, which you can donate money to if you so choose to. That's up to you, really. Biggest thing for me that I really like to see is if you really enjoy it, the podcasts, just remember to leave us
5 stars, baby! Boom!
on any podcast streaming app that you use. As always, ladies and gentlemen, who else would I rather be here with than my two very best friends in the podcasting world? It is Macho Mick and Hulk Harvey, brother. Mick's got a big cheesery smile on. He's laughing at me greeting here. How are we doing, lads?
All right. Not bad.
Good. How do you feel? I got that off my chest early there. I just needed to say it, so I just chucked it out there.
I felt like I was at an AA meeting or something.
It was like pure therapy, man. I actually feel better for saying all that, by the way. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what's happened to my Discord camera. Obviously, we can't see this as an audio streaming platform, but I've just got a still a Mick with his head in his hands because he's watching his mate melt down.
I don't even recall putting my head in my hands, so I'm getting the idea of what happened.
I've screenshotted it. I need to send you just the image of Mick like, oh fuck, Paul's lost the plot. It's finally happened. Oh dear. You see it? Harvey's seen it.
Yeah.
It was at this moment he knew he'd lost his mind. Oh Jesus. So lads, what do you think? I've bared my soul to the world there.
It's I'm proud of you for you getting off your chest there. It's been it has been a bit dreak for a couple of weeks there.
I know though.
It has. Just one thing after another. a lot of negativity in wrestling in general, but specific to AEW and the wrestling media covering AEW.
Aye, like it's been a couple of months of just pure, just downward spiral, man. Like it really is. Like it really takes away from the fun of watching it. Just about like because you're thinking, oh fuck, well this person's missing because of unnamed nonsense in the background. Like it. Aye, I've got to say, I didn't expect it to annoy me as much because professional wrestling, as you know, is a carny arse business at the best of times. But I think just the 2.5 years or so it would have been of just things running as it would seem professionally for it all to just kind of collapse spectacularly. Aye, it annoyed me.
Yeah.
As you can tell, lads, as you can tell.
I definitely get it because, I mean, we've spoke before about kind of growing up watching wrestling and all the rest of it, so I have mentioned before about how I've kind of yo-yoed in my sort of watching of WWE over the years. And it's just every now and again I would just get fed up of not being happy with what I was seeing on screen a lot of the time, but also fed up of drama and this, that and the next thing. It saps the enjoyment out of it, and if you're not enjoying it, what's the bloody point?
Well, that's the way I looked at it, certainly as far as last week went, where I thought, you know what, I just need a wee break for talking about it because I'm not doing it justice talking about it when I'm not enjoying it. Like I'm going through the motions, as it were. Like you're not enjoying what you're watching, and pro wrestling shouldn't be taken serious in that sort of way. Like it's meant to be as a sort of escape for the real life nonsense that is bloody being a bloody adult in today's world. Like it's maybe that wee bit of good fun, like epic sort of entertainment. I always explain it as watching Coronation Street for lads. And like soap opera for lads, basically.
Aye, yep. I can see that analogy. Aye, that works.
Well, that's how I explain it to the masses. Like, well, you like your EastEnders and your Coronation Street and your bloody This Is Us. I like my pro wrestling. Character development, banter, physicality, it's all going on. Anyway, fuck it. That's enough. That's enough fucking bearing my soul for 1 week. Jesus Christ, man. I'll need to give you money for the hourly rate at the end of the fucking podcast, man. How you doing anyway, Harvey? You alright, man?
I'm good, man. Aye.
You're good.
My phone just fucking. I don't know what my phone did, but anyway, it's just deleted everything off in my WhatsApp. So,
oh fuck's sake!
No, it's not deleted everything. It still has like groups that I was added into.
Right.
So it just says, "Oh, you were added into this group, that group on this day, that day, that day."
All right.
Everything else is away.
The content of the charts is away. Oh.
I'm like, cool.
That's not like.
Oh well, I don't think there was anything important in them anyway.
So just basically, shite jokes basically, as far as it comes from my end, man. That jokes to the death, mate. Oh fuck. Can't beat it. Anyway, fuck it. Well, 9 minutes of a podcast here. No one mention of what actually happened on AEW TV this week. It was actually, as it turns out, a very busy week. There was a hell of a lot went on this week. We had AEW Dynamite, the 3rd anniversary show coming from Washington. Following that, we had AEW Rampage, which I've got to say, very much enjoyed, and Battle of the Bells, which... I mean, that's all that ever happens at Battle of the Bells, to be honest. Everybody retains. It's all good. So we had Battle of the Bells. So it's 4 hours of TV this week to kind of chew through. I mean, I think for me, the biggest thing that stood out for me this week is kind of noteworthy was the return of MJF into in-ring competition against Wheeler Yuta. Good wee tune-up match to come back to. One of the kind of young rising stars, obviously, in Wheeler Yuta, who's kind of featured a hell of a lot on TV lately.
I don't know if you can call that a tune-up match. That's an absolute cracker.
It was really though, wasn't it? It was fucking awesome. That guy, I saw a stat that he's no been in a ring for 126 days, MJF. And he comes back and looks phenomenal, man. Like he's not missed a step.
Aye. He looked really good, and I think the fact that him and Wheeler have worked together in the past shows
for a lot of time.
They not only have good chemistry together, they're also familiar with one another.
Yep. There's a hell of a lot of familiarity in there, which means the chemistry is fantastic, and it was in this match. I thought it was a very good match. Wheeler Yuta, as you know, lads, I'm a massive fan on, man. He's phenomenal, I think. MJF though, the shape MJF is in, by the way, was the biggest thing for me. Like, he is easily put on like about 5 or 6 kilograms of muscle, man. Just solid muscle. Like, he's much bulkier than I ever remember. Am I seeing, is it just because he's been away as long? I mean,
I think there's that kind of bodybuilder effect. I think, in the sense that he's leaned up quite a bit, which makes him look bigger.
Aye,
because the muscle mass that he did have stands out. But then he's definitely put some muscle on as well. He definitely does look a lot thicker in the
his
chest
torso. He looks meaty. Like, he looks very meaty compared to what he used to. Interesting post-match angle though, with the handshake kind of nearly happening with MJF. That's fair old interesting. Then he needs to be kind of barked into putting his diamond ring on by Stokely.
I don't love that they're going to that the new. It's the usual thing with Tony Khan and his booking choices.
With his timing.
I like the things that he does. I just feel like he often does them too quick and out of order.
He mistimes it a touch. Aye.
Like, I like the firm and the way it's all set up. They don't strictly work directly for MJF. You know what I mean? They're goons for hire or muscle for hire or however you want to call it. So they have a sense of kind of free will, I guess. And Stokely's he's the ringleader for them.
Aye, so he can.
So it's almost like two bad guys, and one bad guy's got a bit more money, so he tends to be the leader, but the other guy's kind of pulling the strings a lot of the time. And it's got that kind of feel to it. But that's something that they could have let that simmer and build up over months before you had this sort of interaction where MJF's kind of showing a lighter side to him, and then Stokely's come in and, pun fully intended, he's stoking the fire.
Aye, definitely. Hey, dad joke right there, man. Stoking the fire. As it were.
But I kind of reading between the lines, I do wonder if they're going to go to the MJF face turn sooner rather than later.
Aye, I mean, this is the thing is they can't ignore the positive reaction that he gets every time he comes out. Even though he is working his balls off to try be booed, he's just getting love. He's getting love.
Yeah.
Dueling chants during that match for MJF and Wheeler Yuta. You would never have heard that before with MJF. Even though everybody respects that he is phenomenal and he is vitally important to AEW, the crowd were totally on board with the fact that this was a heel and this was a bad guy and this was a wee dick. Thus he was booed, as he should be. But it's sort of changed now. It's totally like the absence has definitely made the crowd a lot sweeter in MJF than they ever were. Like, you're finding that at every venue they go to now. It's cheers that he's met with when he walks out.
Aye.
And he's I would say he's perhaps went way over the top with some of his kind of heelishness since he come back. Like, he's really tried. He's really. It's as if there's been the conversation to say, I can get them to hate me again. Just give me a chance. Like, just give me a chance. I can get them to hate me. Because I mean, I remember.
The better know. better not go the way that the other one went. That was supposed to go in the opposite direction.
Cody.
Hopefully they get it and they're like, right, no, we have to make something fucking face,
exactly,
you know what
aye, good.
I mean? Aye.
There was an interesting interview that Jericho did when MJF first returned.
Oh, that was post AEW scrum, wasn't it? I'm sure. Or he's maybe
He was
repeated this.
asked about. He was asked about MJF potentially turning face. They were talking about the reaction that he got and stuff. And Jericho actually said that he had a conversation with MJF, and MJF told him that he was scared to turn face. He said that he enjoyed being heel, and he felt like he was really good and natural at being a heel, but he felt like he wasn't sure if he could get over as a face, and he didn't know how to go about it.
Oh, it'd be a totally foreign thing to him, like being a face. But I'm sure I pointed to this before with you guys. The Rock is the perfect example of how to retain your exact same character, but be a face. Because I mean, The Rock. I mean, all of the best Rock stuff, like just before he kind of launched into Hollywood, was just him coming out and burying folk every week, burying folk. Billy Gunn. It pretty much ruined Billy Gunn as a credible mid-card wrestler. The Rock cutting a promo on him, just buried him. Like that was The Rock every week, though. It never changed from when he was a heel to when he was a face. It was just the target of who he cut promos on was different. He was doing it against heels as opposed to against faces. And it got over massively. And like, because he didn't change a thing.
There was a subtle shift for like cockiness to cheekiness.
It was like kind of, that is exactly how I describe it, by the way. The kind of cocky, there was still the cockiness there, but it was more about sort of like it was more beloved, I think. What's the word I'm looking for? Endearing maybe wouldn't be the word exactly, but
I get what you mean.
I can't find the word for it, man. But there wasn't so much a character shift though. Heel Rock to face Rock, like it was pretty much the same guy. It was just audience perception just morphed in what he was basically, and he's still remembered as one of the best kind of faces ever as far as wrestling goes. Like, he's one of the biggest heroes. Like, and his run really wasn't that long when you think about it. Like, as far as other kind of wrestling legends go.
It's wild actually how short he was on top before he just buggered off to the movies. Before
he just went into superstardom, before he became like the most bankable movie star and potential future president and all the other kind of mad stuff that they kind of potentially put forward for him. Like, what a life, man. But I kind of see similarities in the MJF situation. Like, they're just at this wee kind of point where there's a huge potential for that. Like, and I think they'd be daft not to do it, to be honest. Like, he's a superstar. Well, I mean, there was a lot of talk about. There was a lot of talk about how that was the plan prior to CM Punk fucking firing himself into the fan. I was going to say, you know, we describe it as shit at the fan, but really it was CM Punk and his fucking box of muffins when he first into the fan. Them shitty muffins. Christ almighty. That still isn't by. Obviously, there's still no word in the Elite returning or CM Punk or any resolution as far as that goes. Again, there was reports for the Wrestling Observer. However, they have been majorly wrong, all these wrestling journalists recently, as far as the inner workings of wrestling companies. So I'm giving them zero respect or time of day on this podcast. They said stuff. That's all I'm going to say. Fuck them. Anyway, hey, AEW Dynamite, by the way. We had a TNT title match, which was finally actually worth watching, even if just for the spectacle. What was missing, Mick? The story.
A build-up storyline.
A build-up. I was waiting on you coming in there.
Storyline.
The point. But by Christ, was it fun?
There was I tell you what, there was a build-up, there was a storyline. Maybe you missed it.
Oh, there was a week in a couple of minutes.
No, it's genius. The build up to Wardlow's title defence was that Wardlow's now in a tag team.
Oh, yay!
Let's go, Wardlow. But no.
One
'cause
half of Wardlow.
Wardlow's got a singles match. Oh, it's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, fair
Don't
play to
get me wrong,
Wardlow
I
and
love-
Brian Cage. Like, they made it fun.
I love Samoa Joe. I love Wardlow. I like them together. Cool tag team. Brian Cage is phenomenal. Doesn't get used enough.
No,
the match
criminally.
between Wardlow and Brian Cage was redonkulous.
It was
They
though,
two
wasn't
guys
it?
have got no business doing the things that they were doing. But yeah, aye, it's just all a bit. Like, what's the point to this again?
Aye, totally and utterly nonsense like, as far as point goes. But what I would quite happily describe as a heavyweight lucha match. If you were to ask somebody what does a heavyweight lucha match look like, you'd probably point them in this direction. Like, because obviously luchas are all these wee athletic men, like doing all sorts of mad stuff, but these are big chunky arse boys hitting ranas, hitting fucking flips. Like, wow, man. As it see when you actually see Brian Cage in a wrestling match on TV for once. It's criminal. It's criminal that this is the first time he's been in an AEW Dynamite for, I mean, fuck, I don't even know. Probably since we started the podcast. I would wager double or nothing kind of time was him against Hangman Page, and it was fucking excellent. Like, how do you fumble that? I mean, I can't even remember the last time he was in Dynamite. Oh, Ricky Starks and him. Wasn't it? When Ricky Starks won the FTW.
FTW.
Aye.
I think he's got a touch of the, the kind of, how do you even put it, man? Like he's too much of a monster in a way. You know what I mean? Like he's so much of a freak that like you can only have so many matches where he gets beat. There's only so many folk that you could have beat him and look credible doing so.
You can't.
I think that might be part of the problem.
Aye, like he is. He's too fucking impressive looking. Like you can't have him get beat too many times. Like it's probably hurts him. It does probably hurt him. Like, shame though.
Same conundrum with Jake Cargill.
Aye. I mean, that's probably a good place to move next, by the way, would be the women's match on Dynamite, which, by the way, I've got to say, the last couple of weeks with these massive sort of tag matches, it's a pretty easy way to get a lot of women featured on Dynamite, and it's a bit lazy. But by God, do they all put the fucking work in with these matches? And cards on the table, lads, when Willow Nightingale hits her gut-wrench powerbomb and wins that 3-on-3 match, I went, oh, yes! Until I seen who she was wrestling at Battle of the Belts, and then I went, oh, for fuck's sake. They're doing my Willow dirty again.
She was finally going to get announced as signed and get a push, and not the job did it again.
Nah, they just jobbed her ass out, right out, straight away. And the match against Jade was fine.
I'd say it was possibly the best match out of Jade yet.
Aye, because
I think Willow
carried
pulled a
her.
really good match out of her. Aye.
Carried her. That is the best match I've seen out of Jade Cargill, and that's down to Willow Nightingale again. Why is there not a Willow is all elite graphic? Why is it still per appearance when it comes to Willow? Like, surely that's a must sign wrestler. Interesting.
Aye.
But did enjoy the multi-women matches, so I've got to say, for the past couple of weeks, they have been a lot of fun. Very spot festy, but there's nothing wrong with that as far as a one-off, kind of couple-off matches go. Interesting to see Saraya get her hands on somebody. That would suggest she's cleared.
It's been announced that she's cleared. She's been announced now.
Paul's excited.
Well, I am, and then I'm no, because the couple of weeks that she's been on telly recently have been some of the hammiest, shittiest stuff I've seen on AEW. Like the commentary and the likes, and the matchmaking. I was just like, oh, fucking, what is this?
She's, I would describe the whole sort of last couple of weeks in terms of the women's division as foundational.
I hope so. I hope that's the case.
It's no quite a do-over, but they're laying some new foundations. You know what I mean? It's like they are aware that there are issues. They are shoring up the issues and the foundations. They're building. They're creating something that they can build on.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a long. Well, I think I'm hoping there's going to be a long-term feud between Saraya and Britt Baker and teams run about them.
Aye.
That will allow different storylines to kind of spiral off. And I think that will hopefully do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of giving us really good content for the women's division while they sort out the sort of title pictures, both TBS and the world title.
Aye. Well, I'd hope so. We've had a few of these kind of false dawns before, though, is my only worry now. Like,
aye.
I can approach it with sort of trepidation now, as far as what they're potentially setting up. I don't think it's an accident, though, that it's become a lot more watchable with Britt Baker involved in the top of the women's card again, though. I don't think that's an accident. I think Britt's, she's had a wee kind of time away there where she was injured, and it's kind of allowed her to be kind of fresher again, certainly. It's good to see her in about it.
If I'm just for a kind of knowing the least bit thought out, but a kind of fantasy booking, if I'm booking that, I'm having Saraya's first official in-ring match be the pay-per-view. What's next? It felt
Revolution, mate, all the way through to Revolution now. Oh, in fact, no, Full Gear, mate. I'm sorry. Full Gear
still to go.
Aye, no, I'm a bit of
out myself there.
I know, I fucked you off there, man. I totally.
I would do our first official match at the pay-per-view at Full Gear, but make it a tag match. So don't put too much pressure on her coming in and having a really good singles match. Let her just kind of play the hot tag.
Aye, something easy, yeah.
And then build off of that to a big finale match singles match between her and Britt Baker, maybe Revolution or whatever, like well into next year.
Aye, and hopefully she's fit and kind of her body holds up, because as we've seen with wrestlers who come back after years out, it doesn't potentially go brilliantly, like physically. Like the years off seems to, it definitely seems to be a theme though. Like obviously you've got Christian Cage as well, still got his arm that's fucked. Obviously the Cupcake Monster himself out of the game now. I love how that was C&M there. Wow, that's no bad. Scissoring Day though, the National Scissoring Day pattern in the middle of the episode with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass.
One of the more WWE angles AEW's ever ran. However,
absolutely,
of course, I loved it.
Thank fuck. I was about to jump in and say, but is that a bad thing? Because I think this was a lot of fun. I really, for the nonsense it was, I thought it was great fun, and I really loved Max Caster's kind of honest sort of everybody feel the love sort of promo in amongst it. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're blue, whether you're red, because we're the pinkest guys and all that. Like, it was lovely, man. It was well thought out, good stuff, man. Just, and the crowd just ate it up. Everything, absolutely everything. And then obviously Swerve comes out, and by fuck is that man a heel? And by fuck is he a great heel?
He's got nuclear heat on him now.
Like, interrupting the Acclaimed is an absolute crime. Like, and this guy is quite happy to do it and just soak up all that heat, man. Like, just soaks it up, man. Like, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Where do we go after this though? Is this straight back into Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed? Is that
I hope
Is that
no.
is that worth watching? What is the plan though?
I'm hoping to see more of what's going to happen between Swerve and Keith Lee. So I'm hoping that the match it's obviously the upcoming match is Swerve and Daddy Ass.
That's right, aye. So that's coming,
which is
this
phenomenal.
week.
I'm totally calling him that as opposed to Billy Gunn.
Aye, that's much better. Aye, Daddy Ass is much better. Go and say it. Big Daddy Ass.
So I'm hoping that off the back of that singles match, we get more of a look at what's happening between Swerve and Keith.
Aye, where their dynamic leads.
And then let's maybe take that storyline for a walk for a couple of weeks. Let's see where that goes. Rather than rushing back into it. Because I think ultimately I'm still holding out for FTR holding all the belts. But the only way you get there is if you can bring along some credible heels to take the belts off of the Acclaimed.
Aye, sort of threats. That's it. There's going to be a threat. I think in time this leads to one more match between Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaimed. Like, and they finally get their clean win. Like, for me, I think that's the next kind of beat in the story that I would like to see, is that they remove the asterisks. Like, against, like, it's the Acclaimed one, but Big Daddy Ass hit the famouser. By the way, can I just point out how fucking funny it is that in 2022, in a time that is more woke and more politically correct, that the guy who was called Mr. Ass now has an even more ridiculous name of Daddy Ass.
Aye.
It's glorious.
Aye, and somehow, so he's like the poster child for like the insensitive, kind of borderline homophobic, kind of like out there, no quite PC group.
Aye, like,
yet somehow now he's fully entrenched in the young woke, like millennials or
like
whatever, boomers, or I don't even get what they're crying now.
But I mean, he was in a tag team
even
where
he scissor me part.
he was in a tag team where they pretended to be gay, and it was fucking shocking and all that. Now he's the manager of a team in which, I mean, they're gay. Well, Anthony Bones is gay, Max Caster is bisexual. Like, they genuinely are LGBTQ. They are an LGBTQ tag team. Like, it's a ridiculous turn of events. Like how the world has changed and how somehow Big Daddy Ass is still involved in.
Yeah,
in
there
such, like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, the events that have led to this are just, it's unbelievable, and it's fucking fair play to them for getting so over, by the way, man, because they have been great fun ever since they come into AEW, the Acclaim. They genuinely have been. But aye, next being the story for me, a kind of final match, a rubber match between Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaimed, and then you see the heel that is Swerve blame it all on big lovable Keith Lee, and there you've got your big lovable monster back, and his first feud is this sneaky fucker who thinks that he is 10 foot tall and Swerve. Like, it's just that would just be glorious for me, lads. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff happened in this Dynamite as well. Obviously, with Hangman Page have his match against Roosh. Again, Roosh, for me, every time I see him, I fucking absolutely love a Roosh match. I love the style of him and the arrogance of him. It's just a shame that his record is now padded all the way out to something like 7 wins and 6 losses, but it's all been losses to guys at the very top of the card. So there's a clear love for Roosh. Aye, like there's a love for using him at the top of the card. Like, obviously he was in Rampage as well in the 3-man match against the Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, I clipped that wee bit of the match and sent it to you guys. With Roosh about to do his drop kick and he stops just short and then just penalty kicks Moxley in the face. Absolutely love the fucking cheek of Roosh. Go to love it, man. I'm trying to think what else really is worth covering. Obviously, Luchasaurus.
I mean, the table.
The table?
Sorry.
No, you fire in, man.
The table during the Jericho and Sammy Jericho.
Oh,
versus
God, aye, exactly. I mean, that's the main event of
Danielson
Dynamite.
through the table and he just cracked half the edge.
Aye.
Oh, aye, just fucking
The table was like
AEW tables, man.
They
Forbidden
need to
door
still keep
remains
open
open.
for Japan.
Aye, that forbidden door table, man, just keeps no selling. It's like the difference between a digestive biscuit and a hobnob is still Peter Kay stand up like, did me again! Again! Hobnobs ain't breaking. Them hobnob NJPW tables, man. What did you think of the main event actually before we kind of move on to other stuff though? What did you make of that? The kind of next beat along in the story. Obviously, I knew that is Garcia kicked out of the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I'm liking it, I've got to say.
I enjoyed the match as well.
I've had a bit of a change of turn with it.
You've kind of came round to it now, as it were.
Aye. I think they have dragged it out longer than they had to. But then I like how they're putting it together now. Like, they've no immediately went to Garcia joining Blackpool Combat Club. He's working with Danielson.
Aye.
But there's no real dialogue there of he is going to join Blackpool Combat Club.
Part
So
of the
there's
team,
more
aye.
they can do with that. Seemingly he's burnt his bridges with Jericho Appreciation Society, but Jericho's still seemingly kind of fond of him. So
It's some of Jericho's best
there's more
AEW
there.
work, by the way, is the kind of the acting between Jericho and Garcia. The kind of Jericho's kind of fondness of this kind of young protege, kind of similar to how he is with Sammy, and Garcia's kind of disappointment in one of his heroes that he has to totally and utterly sully what Ring of Honor is in a lot of ways. The Ring of Honor title being in Jericho's definitely helped it move up a gear, I think, though. The fact that Jericho is a world champion in this situation. It's definitely helped to elevate it. Like, it brings along the kind of history of Ring of Honor where obviously Danielson been a part of it and the like as well. Like, there's still obviously that kind of tie in there.
There's a depth to the symbolism that you don't often get in pro wrestling, because you had the dynamic of this kind of father figure and son figure, and then the father figures try to lead him down the wrong path and take him away from the honour. And his other heroes out there, and Danielson, who's all about the in-ring competition, he's all about the honour. And then you have them win the titles. So Jericho is the world champion of Ring of Honor.
Aye.
And Garcia is the pure champion, and the pure title stands for the honour within Ring of Honor.
Aye, like
it's
the
pretty
identity.
heavy, deep symbolism there. Aye,
It's
all raveled. It's very well layered.
Aye, the thing that I kind of come towards it as well is like the Jordan Peterson thing about you have two fathers in your life kind of pattern. Like the one you have at the very beginning, like your first role model, and then the one that you make for yourself, sort of thing. Like there's that kind of. I don't know if that's a great comparison to it, obviously, but the fact that he's got his two wrestling dads with totally different ideologies, and he's torn between the two to the point where now he's kind of chose his path, like as a young sort of man getting into the wrestling world, coming of age kind of pattern going on there, as it were.
Yeah. I'm kind of now hoping that it leads to ultimately Garcia taking the world title, the Ring of Honor title, off of Jericho, and going on a run as the face champion in Ring of Honor when they eventually get a TV deal.
Aye, when something, if it ever actually happens, with a TV deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, I think, if to my recollection, there's another big Ring of Honor show before the year ends out as well, isn't there? Have I made that up in the spot? Is it Final Battle? Nah, Final Battle isn't it then, is it? I'm trying to think. Final Battle, Death Before Dishonor. Oh, God. Never mind. Park that anyway, lads. Park that anyway. That's just fucking... That's me just speculating for... In fact, our Final Battle 2021 was in December 11th. So, technically, there should be another pay-per-view for Ring of Honor in this sort of 12-month cycle, technically.
Aye, if they're leaning into that.
Aye. Because there's Death Before Dishonor, Supercard of Honor was the first kind of AEW-led one. Aye, so you've got Final Battle still to potentially come in December. I haven't had any announcements about that yet, certainly, whether that's gone ahead or no. But you wonder what happens. Other matches, obviously, Battle of the Belts, the Pac match versus Trent, leading back into an Orange Cassidy match versus Pac. Is this a title change?
It's got to be.
I think it is, man.
Got to be.
I think
And
you're
seemingly
looking at
a full-blown heel turn for Pac.
Aye, it is basically, aye. It is. I mean,
Which
obviously, Death
could
Triangle.
potentially blow up Death Triangle.
Aye, that could finish off Death Triangle. Although I feel like you could change up Death Triangle a wee bit. Like, I feel like there's the numbers there to make them more lucha. Like, you've got obviously Bandito apparently is a matter of time before they announce him. Like when they're going to sign him, like it's just a matter of time. Apparently, he's pretty much agreed to come in. Obviously, after that Jericho match.
The chat I had read was directly after that match he was offered a contract. He's
Aye.
agreed in principle, but he's yet to actually sign it.
That would be a big
And
loss.
supposedly he's told a number of his mates that he's signing with AEW. But
Aye,
I think
he's going to.
AEW, I think WWE had put out feelers or something.
I think, and quite rightly so, they'd made their move as you would, obviously, Christ. 'cause,
So I don't know if he's maybe playing the field in the sense of he wants to sign with AEW, but he's wondering if they'll offer him some more money if he hodges it. I don't know if it's that kind of situation, but I mean, that's total speculation for me. I don't know if that's...
Aye, well, that's
Right
going
or
to
no.
happen or no, quite. Aye, so here's the thing I wanted to talk about, by the way.
That would be interesting. Lucha Brothers and Bandito.
Aye, like
That would
I
be-
feel like that would be a cool sort of trios team. Like all luchas, all very kind of beloved by the crowd. I mean, the thing I love about the Bandito match with Jericho is that when he came out, nobody was really that bothered. And in the space of a 15-minute match, he was, holy Christ, they need to sign Bandito. Hashtag sign Bandito everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
Jericho made a star of him, man.
Jericho is... What a legend is Jericho, man.
Aye, honestly, I mean, at that age, he's still making fucking stars. I mean, that's not to say Bandito didn't do his part, by the way. I've never seen a guy that small be that strong. Like, Jericho upside down in a vertical suplex for about a minute. I mean, Jericho's no cruiserweight, man.
The hilarious thing with that, man. The hilarious thing with that suplex was that Jericho was the one that was faltering. He was struggling to hold his legs up.
No wonder, man. He's 50 odd years old. And he's a good 250 pounds. Like, he's a big boy. Weight wise, like. And Bandito could have had him up there all night, man.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
fuck, man. Absolutely brilliant. And of course, Riccaboni in the commentating for that match as well. Just for having worked so many Bandito matches. All the calls that he has for like, the 21 plex and the backflip, fucking slamming all that off the top, man. What? Unreal.
Yep.
Unreal. Right, before I lose my train of thought, Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy coming up in Toronto this week, by the way. If Luchasaurus doesn't win,
Arguably too soon.
that's my worry. Luchasaurus
Because Christian can't come back for a while.
No, I know.
He's got a fair long recovery ahead of him.
Aye.
So I worry that they've overplayed their hand here.
Aye, like,
I feel like you needed. Well, I mean, in my mind, the only way that you can go about it is, you have Jungle Boy get his ass kicked again.
Luchasaurus has to murder him here. Like, Luchasaurus has to
And then-
absolutely murder him here for this to make sense.
And then send wee Jack home. Tell him to take a couple of months off.
Aye, like that. They need to have Luchasaurus run through him like a fucking hurricane. Like, they have to destroy Jungle Boy here. But I'm worried though, because it's Tony Khan and he loves his wee four pillars, man. And he's too fond of booking them strong as under. Look at Darby Allin.
Have they
like with Jay Lethal, man. Like, there's no way Darby Allin needs to win that. Why do it? Like, why even do it? You know what I mean? But it's Darby Allin and he's one of the originals, and Darby Allin doesn't need to win that match. But that's where I'm thinking there's a high chance of Jungle Boy probably just winning, and this all dies a death.
I don't like what they're doing with Jay Lethal, and I've got to say. But that aside, I think that you could quite easily have Luchasaurus win this, and you could also quite easily have it be like Christian's getting involved, and like it can be like disqualification win for Jungle Boy, but it gets torn apart.
He needs to get,
and then he goes away for a while.
He needs to get absolutely
comes back. Comes back after a month and a half, 2 months, and then they build up to another match with Luchasaurus, but this time he's make the move, go for Jungle Boy to Jungle Jack Perry, have him man up, and get the win, and then hopefully then enough time's passed that they can start sort of slowly putting the pieces together and working towards a match with Christian when he's ready to go.
His final boss, like his final boss match. That's a shout, mate. Absolutely. Anything else really that we've missed here, man? I feel like we've covered all the big kind of patter from AEW this week. Obviously, it is in Toronto this week coming. This is the first non-US show that they're having.
FTR back in tag team action.
Aye. So they're obviously, I think it's kind of coming towards them with the Ass Boys as their kind of next feud. Certainly, innit? I noticed that they had their wee tag match with the Gates of Agony, which, by the way, I fairly enjoyed. I think there's I think there's definitely a place for them in AEW's tag team kind of ranks going forward. I think they look very good, especially the big Samoan fella. Fucking hell, man, he is a specimen.
He's a MAGA 2.0.
Oh, aye, man, aye, absolutely brilliant. They went over. They looked quite strong in defeat, obviously. Gates of Agony, like it was a roll-up pin. In fact, was it? It was a roll-up pin in the finish, wasn't it?
Yep. Aye. They hit the big rig on the big game.
Aye, that's right. To kind of get him out of the road.
He wasn't the legal man, right. So he rolled out the ring. Then they went for the other one.
Aye, Jasper Con.
And then there was like a reversal, bit of kerfuffle, and then Dax hit the roll-up.
Aye, and that's what gets them the win, obviously. One thing I noticed was them saying that they're quite happy with their position in AEW being used to kind of foster relationships overseas and in different countries and so on and so forth, which was, because again, that's another one that there's the constant fucking rumour mill is that how FTR only enjoying themselves in AEW, blah, 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 blah. But next up, the Ass Boys for the feud for the Ring of Honor tag team titles, it would seem.
Yep. Possibly in the interim, some sort of crazy 8-man match, because seemingly they're happy to tag with Wardlow.
Oh, right. I see. You're looking at Gates of Agony, Brian Cage, and potentially another wrestler. Possibly.
I don't know who they bring in. That's
a fourth, whoever that may well be. Interesting. What do you think about the potential of them dropping to the Ass Boys, the Gun Club, whatever you want to call them, Ass Boys, fuck it. ROH title.
Dropping what? Ring of Honor?
ROH tag team titles. I say this because at the GCW show at the weekend there, Nick Gage had the career versus title match against John Moxley, and Nick Gage won due to interference for the firm.
Oh, I didn't know it was the firm.
Aye.
Did not know that.
W. Morrison, I
read,
think it was
and
Moriarty as well.
Again, man, like take this with a pinch of salt. But so it's been announced that Mox has signed a new 5-year contract extension. Yep. So it's been talked about by the wrestling media that supposedly it's part of the contract that he can now only wrestle for AEW and NJPW.
Oh, right. So they've cut down the death match.
Right.
So that's why he dropped the title, because he can't wrestle for JCW anymore, supposedly.
I mean, my honest and probably harsh take, it's probably a good thing. Like, you've got a lot of GCW is, I mean, and this is its big selling point, is how lawless it is, and how absolutely kind of there's no rules kind of thing. Like, the crowd are all basically on top of the ring. Like, Moxley's walking through the crowd who have all got beers and throwing beer at him and all. Like, and as a boy who's trying to kind of keep himself away from the drink and that, like, it's probably not a great environment for him. Like, so probably not the worst thing to happen to him. Like, to not be allowed to work GCW. He's done his run there, and he's certainly helped put him in the fucking map. Like, I mean, GCW before Moxley to GCW after Moxley is a massive success. Like, they're selling pay-per-views in bloody Fight. They're selling out fucking Hammerstein Ballroom. Like, it's been a successful experiment. Like, as far as building the pro wrestling world for John Moxley's point of view, which I think is what he's all about at the end of the day. So, it's a good shout, is what I'm trying to say. And
I think, in my mind, for him to agree to that, because seemingly he totally loves GCW and he loves the blood sport stuff, he loves the death matches and everything, and working with like the guys like Nick Gage and that. So I think there has to be an agreement in place that for him to sign a deal that long and to stipulate that he would be moving away from the likes of GCW, that he must be very firmly entrenched in the world title picture.
Aye.
And or tag team picture.
Oh, aye.
For the foreseeable. Because, you know what I mean, that's going to be the trade-off. Like, if he doesn't get to travel around the Indies and do what he wants and have all these crazy matches, it needs to be for something more than money.
Aye, they need to let him enjoy it, do what he is enjoying doing, which, I mean, largely, I would imagine everything that he has wanted to do in AEW is going to do. The Blackpool Combat Club was his idea. Like, that was his thing. Obviously, a lot of the type of matches and all that. He's been allowed death matches. He's been allowed fucking exploding ring match. Like, even though it was a fuck up in the end, like, it was an idea that they were quite happy to let him kind of go for. And my God, did they fuck that up? Jesus, file that in the just like TNA folder and shove it away. God Almighty! But he's had the massive amount of freedom, and quite rightly so, because when he's asked to do something and when the show needs him to be the big ticket, by God, does he deliver? Like, every fucking time. Like, even the wee sort of subtle build with Hangman Page just before, well, sorry, not just before, just after the Roosh match with Hangman Page. Like, the wee subtle but respectful kind of dig at one another. Loved it, man. Loved it. Like, these are two face wrestlers. They respect one another, but Moxley's not having any of that disrespectful shit. Go to love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. It's a good wee feud for him to move on to now as the champion, and he'll beat Hangman Page, quite rightly so. And no doubt it'll be probably the best 20 minutes that Hangman's done on an AEW ring for quite a wee while as well. Like, I have complete faith in that.
Right.
I actually thought him and Roosh was very good as well, Hangman, by the way. I mean, just to jump back to that. I know I'd said it kind of 15 minutes ago, but again, fucking class. I'm everywhere this week.
It was a good match. It was.
Aye.
It's another one of the things where it's like, imagine how good it would have been
with a plan.
If they took their time and they built into it. But sometimes it's all right to just have a good match.
Aye, I think that's
this occasion.
Aye,
you let them away with it.
Wrestling in a nutshell, you've got to have things that are shock attractions, like, oh, what'll happen here? Like, I didn't expect this. Like, there's got to be a bit of that in every kind of wrestling show. AEW are leaning into that a bit too much. I think I agree with you there, Mick. Like, and they have done for the past kind of calendar year. They've done the old playing with the toy, like, oh, look, this toy, let's put them together. Like, there's a lot of that going on. Like, but sometimes it works. Sometimes it's fun.
I feel a wee bit at times like I was suckered in. Like at the point where I get into AEW, they were deep at work.
Oh, they were. Aye, what a run.
And long term storytelling all over the shop.
Aye.
The booking was phenomenal. And it's just all went to shit.
It's definitely. Like, it was hitting 5 out of 5 week upon week. It's now sitting 3 out of 5. There's the odd 4, there's the odd 5. But it's not doing anything remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing really excellent. There's good and there's great. But that time in wrestling, I think, Mick, unfortunately, is one of these times where you're going to look back and say, remember when AEW just booked perfectly for a solid year and a half, which is what they just about did. Like everything they done, even through the pandemic, when there was like zero crowd, they still managed to make so much fun. Like so much, like it was just great to watch every fucking week. Like, I don't think you're ever going to. I think that's the problem, mate, is that was such a quality that eventually something needed to give. Like, there needed to be an XL, like, as far as quality goes. It's hard to keep that standard.
I still kind of hold out hope that at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future, Tony Khan will get enough stuff sort of in place, systemize enough things that he can concentrate on his booking a bit more. And not only that, hopefully he'll have a better run in terms of backstage drama and injuries and stuff like that derail the good booking.
Aye, that's another thing if we remember as well.
Because there's two sides to it, you know what I mean? Like, he needs to create the booking in the first place, and then the wrestlers need to stay fit and put in the work to make it come to life.
Yeah, that's exactly it, mate. That is exactly it. Oh, lads, well, I'll tell you what, we're in about 57 minutes time into this podcast here, and I'm quite happy that we've kind of bantered our way through every bit of the recent history of AEW. Is there any tiny wee things we want to quickly patter up before we boost? Harvey Smith, you've always got something out of nowhere in the last 2 minutes. You're a 90-minute plus kind of guy, man. Not even in the Fergie time. Not even in the Fergie time has Harvey got anything for us here. Not the day. He is content. Mick Allen, we have largely ranted our way through the last 20 minutes here. Is there anything we've missed, man?
I don't think so, other than it just did come to mind that we spent a good bit of time on the women's stuff, and I don't think Toni Storm's name was even mentioned.
Which is a shame, really, because she's champion.
That is a shame.
Probably.
So, final question from me.
Go for it.
Over under. 18 months over under. Saraya is women's champion.
I would agree with Harvey. I would agree with Harvey. She's the big profile get.
Inside that 18 months, she not only did they get through the booking, but also she's fit enough that she keeps her shit together long enough.
I'll tell you something. I would say that under 18 months she's a women's champion, and under 18 months she's also done. I just have that feeling. It was an awesome superstar pop, and it was great to see the love for her, and she is still a monster star. I don't know if it's just cynical with the kind of late kind of AEW stuff now that has me thinking probably won't bloody work, but I don't know. I would love to be proved wrong there. I'm not gonna lie. I would. It's by any means a lack of respect for Saraya's ability as a pro wrestler, or her health. Like, if she's fit to go, then that's good enough for me. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Wrestling's a funny old business.
For me, I wouldn't be shocked if it was an under, if inside the 18 months she's champ, but I would like it to be over, and for one reason only, and that's because when she does become champion, I want it to be after a long and very well booked programme between her and the person that she would take the belt off of, and that would be, what's her face? Jamie Hayter.
You came with it.
The name went
You
up-
came with
the
the
name
point and
went clear
forgot the
up my
name. That'd be cool,
Jamie
man.
Hayter. I
You want
want
Jamie
Jamie
Hayter.
Hayter to be the next long-term champ, and then do some long-term booking, because there is history between her and Syria. So I think the two of them could work well, like really well together.
Be cool if they had that match in England as
So
well.
I had like,
I mean, that would be hell. I mean,
I mean, they could do the whole Friends reunion thing, and then one turns on the other, and
Aye.
they could do some good stuff there.
absolutely, mate. Aye, I totally agree with that. Oh, Jesus. Well, lads, we are at the end of said AEW Mash podcast here. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you've any patter for us, you don't usually do, though. We're just a wee humble podcast. But if you do, by all means, tell us. We also do social media. We've got random shit on TikTok. Harvey puts his dug up. I put my exercise up. I mean, we're out there. We're out there, man. Oh,
I look
jeez.
oblivious because I'm not aware of this, because I've
You
never
know,
done
I
them.
know. I mean, Mick's not been on
on
TikTok for ages, so if anything, this is a reaction podcast as well as an AEW podcast. It's all going on. Fucking all going on. Aye, it's all going on, lads. Anyway, we're back next week. I think we're back with 3 podcasts, probably. It will be remain to be seen, I suppose. But we'll be here anyway, man, right? Bye.
We're doing something.
Aye, that's it, man. Bye.
To the back.
Cheers. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
I'm a hillbilly.
This.
That was like Johnny Davidson, the Tourette's guy. I'm a chicken fucker. I'm a hillbilly.
Oh, completely and utterly got me off guard there.
That was outstanding, I've got to say. I came out anyway. Oh, class. I'm a hillbilly.